last night I was watching episodes 1 through 3 of season 3 of Reacher. I am quite enjoying it, and at the end of this segment, I am going to give you a mini review of that. But with the release of Reacher season 3, the mainstream media and the star of the show, Alan Ritchson, are doing everything in their power to make sure that you, a fan of this show, don't watch it because they want to turn it political right as the new season is dropping, because Alan Ritchson, for some reason, decided to call out Matt Gaetz.
He's trash talking. He's picking a fight. He's picking
a fight with Matt Gaetz. I'll read this quote that I think is very funny. He says, I would love to know how it came up. He starts, that motherfucker, we are adversaries. Was the guy interviewing him just like, so, Reacher season 3, huh? What do you think about Matt Gaetz?
It's in this GQ interview that this came up. They're saying Alan Ritchson points out that Reacher's audience demographics are basically a 50-50 split between men and women and between Democrats and Republicans. So when he has public run-ins, it's not always dudes trying to punk him. It presents an interesting dichotomy. The man he plays on TV despises most things about the modern age. Reacher has no fixed address, travels only with clothes on his back, doesn't own a phone, won't take selfies with a stranger. That doesn't mean the character is foreign to Ritchson. He and the fictional character share a few things in common.
By the way, they have ramped up the female gaze for this show.
Yeah, I was asking you if you think that the shirtless scenes are getting to a point of gratuity.
He is pretty much shirtless 60% of the time, 50% of the time in the first 3 episodes of season 3.
Okay, here is how it came up in the GQ interview. They say, born in North Dakota to a school teacher, mother, and a father who retired from the Air Force, Ritchson's family briefly moved to Illinois during his childhood before settling in Niceville, Florida, where he was classmates with the ghoulish politician Matt Gaetz, who has been accused, among other things, of paying for sex with a 17-year-old. The mere mention of Gaetz's name puts a charge into Alan Ritchson. He says, that MFer, we are adversaries. It's shocking to me that the panhandle of Florida continues to vote for somebody. Knowing everything we know about him and the promises he has made behind closed doors about pardoning certain criminals, he is just not a good dude. There's part of me that wants to get into politics to outdo somebody like him for good. And there's part of me that's like, I'm not duplicitous enough to succeed in politics. There are certain people that do a good job of staying true to who they are, but they're ineffective. I think Bernie Sanders is a hero, but it's remember, like, what has he accomplished?
Just remember that Bernie Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton and sold out Tulsi Gabbard, despite the fact that she put her career on the line for him. He is not a hero. You're stupid. It's not your fault. You're an actor. I still love you as an actor.
You're stupid. It's not your fault. You're an actor.
I love you as an actor. I think you do great in Reacher. In this case, I think you're wrong. I don't think that Bernie Sanders is a hero. I don't think there is such thing as a hero politician. Politicians are not to be trusted, just like business oligarchs. But it is funny because, again, I don't even necessarily put this on him. He certainly went out of his way post Reacher season 2 to put his TDS on display. Whatever, fine. This is where we get into that entire tired argument where people, it happens on X every time one of these things comes out, where everybody says, like, I'm not watching it because this guy said this thing. I don't care. I'm never going to care. I understand why you care. I understand why you don't want to watch things by people who say stupid things or who you believe would hate you. Again, just like I treat business oligarchs, they're offering a product. It's a pragmatic business relationship. In this case, is my enjoyment of Reacher season 3 ruined because Alan Ritchson says stupid stuff? No, it's not. I think the show is great, and I always, given how hard it is to find good entertainment these days, I'm going to take it. It doesn't bother me one bit. Also, if I remember correctly, Matthew Marsden, who is a very, very prominent conservative influencer, plays his dad in that show, in the flashbacks, if I remember correctly.
Interesting.
In the past seasons. Yeah. I can separate the art from the artist. I understand if you can't, why you can't, but I think you deprive yourself of some good entertainment from time to time, and I don't think it's going to ruin this show because most people aren't obsessively on X looking at what Alan Ritchson says about Donald Trump. They just aren't.
Well, he is quite a puzzle in terms of his political views and who he seems to be in his personal life. You know, he clearly cares about a lot of things that liberals, for the most part, don't. He's very into his Christian faith, talks about it a lot.
This is one of those things I wanted to actually do a segment on at one point. I said he is a rare example of a practicing Christian who is very much on the left.
I mean, he's a woke Christian.
Yes. So when I say that is there's plenty of people in Hollywood who pay lip service when they win awards. That's very different from somebody who starts their own YouTube channel to talk about scripture.
Which is what Ritchson did.
Yes, he does.
He's very outspoken about his faith. He also clearly is at top physical shape. That is something, admittedly, you know, liberals don't care about. In fact, they revile that and claim that people who go to the gym are far-right radicals. And, you know, he also seems to want to use his platform as an entertainer to speak out on these socio-political issues and become a mouthpiece.
And this could hurt his career down the line. I don't know. He seems to be on an upward trajectory. Like I said, he ended up being playing a prominent villain in a Fast and the Furious movie. He is now, Reacher's already been greenlit through season 4. So we're not just getting season 3. If you want to talk critic scores, the score for Reacher has gone up every single season.
He was in that movie with Henry Cavill.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I like that movie. He also, they're bringing back Blue Mountain State. I don't know how they're going to do it with them as old people rather than college kids, but they are doing
AI.
that. Yeah.
Right. Well, believe it or not, Matt Gaetz found the time of his day to clap back at Alan Ritchson.
Remember, politics is just Hollywood for ugly people.
Right. Yes, exactly. And in Alan Ritchson's case,
That's
Hollywood is politics for pretty people. Yeah. Like, it's literally never been so clear. But Matt Gaetz tweeted in response to Alan Ritchson, "Hollywood apparently changes people. Alan was a year behind me in high school, and we were both on the speech and debate team. We were not adversaries, as I won debate championships, and Alan did more acting stuff. As I recall, his older brother Eric won more often than Alan did. He was always very nice to me and everyone, and his mother, the computer lab monitor, loved me. At her invitation, I even went to his dad's retirement party from the Air Force. It was held at a karaoke bar called Lubos in Niceville, where his dad sang Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay. I sang Centerfold." It's so bizarre that they have this connection, though.
Yeah,
isn't it?
That they're connected.
Like, it almost feels like it was scripted by the deep state.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Right? Like, they went to high school together, but they weren't just at the same high school in, like, a group of 5,000 people and never met. They actually knew each other personally and had similar interests and are family friends.
And especially because it's not California. Like, if you go on IMDb, you'll see endless trivia things where it's like, went to the same high school as this person, this person, this person. But we're not talking about that. And we're talking about politicians and not...
I mean, I don't know. Who comes out on top? Who looks better here?
They both,
because like if you're being realistic,
Matt Gaetz wins because he's only responding.
Well, Matt Gaetz wins in that he seems unbothered and Alan Ritchson seems bothered, but Alan Ritchson wins in that he could completely deck Matt Gaetz in a real fight, not a Twitter fight. So it's hard to say.
Here's my other point to this, in that it's not like, as stupid as what he said was, if you look up his name, it's not diluted with the Matt Gaetz stuff right now. It's a bunch of puff pieces about his fitness routine and the return of Reacher. So it's not just him calling out Matt Gaetz.
He did have an interesting take on sex scenes and
why
he does them, even though he is a Christian. Speaking to GQ, Alan Ritchson said that some Christians have a hard time separating him from his characters and their actions on screen. People have this weird relationship with fictional characters and sort of equate them to the real human being. I don't have that problem making that distinction. I get criticized a lot by Christians who are like, how dare you have an unmarried sex scene on TV and then talk about Jesus? I'm sorry, I doubt that's going to be part of the conversation when I'm standing at the pearly gates. And I find that interesting. I don't think anyone is objecting to the sex scenes just on the merit of the characters being unmarried in the show.
Oh,
the
they're saying
Christians
that
who
it's not your
are
it's
saying
not your
you
wife.
shouldn't put sex on TV. Like
Okay.
it does. I would still object to a sex scene between married characters in a TV show.
It's weird.
In the principle that it's pornographic.
Think of Neil McDonough, who's very religious and won't do sex scenes because he believes that he doesn't want to do that to his wife.
Well, he said that he
won't
wouldn't even do
other-
kissing scenes,
Yeah.
which I think is maybe too extreme.
Yeah.
But also, I think it is a very unconventional job, and I probably wouldn't want to be married to someone who's kissing other women on camera.
Look, here's the thing, guys. I watched the first 3 episodes of Reacher Season 3. I think it's very, very good. I think it's leagues above Season 2 so far. And the general consensus from what I saw on X, which is where you go if you want the most terminally online takes, is that a lot of people in the space are still watching it and enjoying it. And every time you post about it, there are the people in the comments who are then saying, I'm not watching it because Alan Ritchson said this. But you don't reach that level of success with just people who care about Donald Trump watching your show. You have to have broad appeal when it comes to the success of these shows. And the reason why it's doing so well is because it doesn't really lean into anything politically, at least not as far as I can see. The show, it's done by a guy named Nick Santora, who's done very, very good work in the past. And it's great. And it's not telling you what to think or feel about anything. It's probably got some commentary about business and power, but for the most part, it's just a great television show. And most people aren't on Twitter listening to what he's saying about celebrities or what he's saying about Donald Trump. I do recommend that if you liked season 1 of Reacher, if you were iffy about season 2, to check out season 3. I think it's leagues above the second season in a lot of ways. I was going to do like a mini review, but I'm wondering if maybe I'll just do that as a separate video because I've got like 2 pages of notes and it'll make the segment extremely long. But I had a lot of fun with it. I think you guys will too. If you are somebody that likes to separate the art from the artist, just give it a shot. You can.
I think you can do it. I believe in you. Alan Ritchson's political takes are the most important to Alan Ritchson.
You just do what normal people do. Just tune it out.
He does have really bad timing, though.
Yeah. No, see, it's not bad timing. It's the press that hates them. The press, that's what I think it is. I think the press goes into these interviews and they kind of like how they say that politicians wanted to be actors, but they're ugly, so they go into politics instead. Journalists wanted to be actors, but weren't even capable of becoming politicians. So they hate the actors deep down. And then they're like
how did
let me tee up this question that will ruin your show's launch.
Right. This journalist at GQ somehow found out that Matt Gaetz and Alan Ritchson went to high school together. Like, how did they know that?
That is
how's that
really
even
funny.
come up?
How does that come up?
I mean, that's the real investigative journalist.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.